So I get a lot of questions throughout my day and my week regarding either nutrition or training or exercises and any myriad of variations of question you could possibly ask regarding training. And most of the time my answer is it depends. And really when you're out there looking either for information, if you see anything that's 100% guaranteed or absolute rules of some sort, typically that person is probably trying to sell you something, or they're just ignorant that everyone's body is different and no one is going to respond 100% to how we think that's going to happen. So for example, why is my answer always depends? And to be honest, most coaches who say it depends are probably more educated than someone who's like, oh no, 100% this is going to happen. Again, there's very few absolute and there's very few guaranteed results within the fitness and nutrition realm. So why do we say it depends? Well, there's a couple different reasons. One, it depends on a person's physiology. So for example, from a training perspective, it may a certain exercise may or may not work for you, or a certain methodology of training may or not work with you because of either the way you're actually built, so your levers, your insertion points of your muscles, and also the fiber type that you have, and whether or not, I mean, there is ways that you can slightly change your fiber type, but for the most part, your fiber type, meaning if you're fast twitch or slow twitch dominant, is going to be fairly steady throughout your lifetime. So those types of things will affect the type of training that you do because it'll either limit or enhance what you have going on. From a nutrition standpoint, individual biochemistry is very different. The more we study about nutrition, the more we realize we don't understand and we don't know. So the human body is incredibly complex, and there's so many different chemical reactions, absorption rates, metabolisms, like everything in the human body is completely individual to that person. And so some person may digest carbs very well, some person may not. One person may have a difficult time with lots of fiber, but some person may not have lots of issues with lots of fiber. So really, the speed of how you process things, your absorption rate, the way that your body can actually metabolize what it absorbs, everything is so different for everyone that, again, there's no hard and fast, like 100% guarantee for any sort of question regarding either nutrition or training. And again, if someone says that there is, they're probably trying to sell you something. And like I said, the more we learn about the human body, the less we actually understand about the human body. And really, if you go into the literature, in the fitness realm and the literature, you can find a study to pretty much either support or refute almost any stance that you take, depending on how you look at studies. And even the best designed studies, ones that are actually very, double-blind research studies, like those types of studies that are really good, even those give us results, but they don't necessarily give us 100% results, because no study, no matter how well designed, can account for real life, what happens in a real person's life. So, you may have a study that confirms that, oh yes, carbs, a low carb, high fat diet is better for body composition. Well, you can also find a study that says the opposite of that. And again, it really just depends on what's going on in that person's life, what that individual body chemistry looks like, and just how they, what do they do in their regular life all the time. So really, we can see things in studies and we can extrapolate information, but again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% applicable to your life. So yeah, we'll just leave that at that. But what we can do is we can rely on general principles of training that we know work 90% of the time with 90% of the people. Of course, there's going to be outliers on either end, but for the most part, there's some very general rules that work well. And then as far as the details under each of those rules, that's going to be a lot more individualized depending on the person and who you are. So really, you want to make sure your nutrition is well. So I like to tell people, eat this many vegetables, eat this much meat, eat this much crap. And then that, you should be pretty good. So if you were to look at your week, this much should be vegetables, this much should be meat, this much should be the crap that you have. Meaning like, the treats, the sweets, all that kind of stuff like that. So getting your nutrition in line, and again, what that looks like is individual to the person. From a strength perspective, everyone should be doing some sort of strength activity. You should be picking up heavy things, you should be putting them back down again, and you should be carrying heavy things. Now, again, that heavy thing is relative to your strength levels, is relative to your body type, but there should be some sort of weight-bearing exercise in your life to make your bones and your muscles stronger and to keep them strong as you get older. There should be some sort of cardiovascular work in your life. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be running. It could be going for a walk. It could be playing frisbee. It could be playing basketball. There should be some sort of cardiovascular work that's dedicated to keeping your heart strong, keeping your lungs, just the whole system working well. And then on top of that, we have daily movement. So my boss Sarah drew a really great picture of a tiered cake. And hopefully I'm able to connect this into this video, but if you look at it, the baseline is good. The base bottom of this tiered cake is going to be your nutrition. So that really is, as far as a body composition perspective and a health perspective, your nutrition is going to play a lot into how you feel, how you move, or not how you move, but how you feel, and what your body composition is. The next tier is going to be strength. So again, we want to have a fair amount of strength work in your life. Again, weight-bearing exercise of some sort in your life. And then on top of that, you have the cardiovascular work. So the smaller tier on the top is going to be some sort of cardiovascular work. And then the icing on the cake is your daily movement. So you can't rely on playing video games all day or sitting at your desk all day and then working out 2 or 3 times a week. Yes, that's good, but that's not enough. There needs to be daily movement throughout your life that helps just keep your body moving, because we're not meant to be in one spot for a long period of time. So again, these are big general rules. So don't eat crap, eat more vegetables, pick up heavy things, run around for a little bit, and move daily in your life. Those are the 4 general principles I would say that kind of apply to everyone in order to keep a healthy life. And then as far as the details go, that just goes down to the nitty-gritty. That depends on you specifically, and you have to find the methodologies and the ways that work best for you. So again, there's no hard and fast guaranteed rule for anything. It always just depends. So when you hear me say it depends, don't be frustrated. Realize there's a lot of things that I don't know the answer to, and that just comes from over time figuring out what works best for you. So yeah, be wise, know that it just depends, and figure out what works best for you.